his uncle and his nephew. He's a progressive. I'm a regressive. So we kind of create this, that little bit of tension that these things try to create. We just do it naturally because of our age. And today, he's a big Utah Jazz fan. Am I allowed to say that without giving away
Of
too much?
course, super fan.
I suspect that's why you have the Mark Eaton beard going.
Yeah, and the jazz tattoo.
Jazz tattoo. And so what we're gonna do, I think, is our format is like my guy Ty here knows a lot, and he's obsessive and like a little kooky, and he's sort of channeled that into NBA and weird stuff like that, like basically that, and like music, and besides that, and like poesy and like a bit of that stuff, but like, and here we are. So this is what we are. We are like a short burst, and Ty's going to give us real information because I actually don't. I ask questions that are legit questions, and here we are, episode 2, hard launch.
Hard launch.
Ty, tell people where you're going today.
I'm heading on my way to Vegas for Summer League. Gonna see everyone's. I last looked at the injury report. Got AJ Boozer. It's AJ Caleb Wilson today. That's the marquee game. But got Mikael Brown, and Darius Acuff playing too. It's a big.
And the guy I'm most interested in, I'm wondering if you're going to see, and hopefully we'll have time to talk about this guy, is Bruce Thornton of Houston. I'm super excited about this guy because he fits a theory that I've had and we've developed, and I love this kid. Anyways, okay, so
That's my first game of the day. Is
who?
Bruce Thornton is Rockets Sixers at 1
Who do
p.m.
the Sixers have?
LeBaron
For the viewers.
My
Did you see how poorly he started that first game?
That first game, but his second game was great. I don't expect him to be huge in the first year, but anyway.
Okay, I think we need to lead off the show with just some honesty. LeBron's super annoying. Do you think he annoys other people? It's just that he's annoying me. Like, this is annoying.
I think he annoys at most people at this point. It's just ridiculous. Like, he knows who
Do you
he's
agree
signed.
Do you agree that it's mostly interesting because he's willing to play for relatively cheap and therefore he'll be impactful? If he was paying for full money, who would even really want to pay LeBron like 30 or 40 million right now?
Other than like marketing purposes, because I'm sure you're going to sell a lot of jerseys and get a lot of people for whoever has LeBron. For on the court impact, yeah, you can't pay him that much. But it's also fun because usually you got very few suitors who he's both interested in and who have the money. But if he's not expecting anything, you got nothing.
Are any teams sitting and waiting for what might happen after LeBron's? Like, are teams? Do you think the teams know? Like, is Miami like, oh, we're getting LeBron for sure?
No,
or
I don't.
Do you think other teams are?
I don't think the teams know.
I love Kuminga. You don't love Kuminga. Do teams like Kuminga? What are the views of him?
No, clearly teams have no interest in Kuminga. They didn't. He's been on the market several times for years here, and no one was willing to give anything up. And then even with his miraculous game you went to, where he was awesome, the Hawks just had no interest in retaining him. He's just a tough.
Is his game wrong, or is he a dick? Like, what is it?
Yeah, I don't know. Well, he always had the stuff where he was like scoffing at being like this 3-and-D player people want him to do because he felt like he was a big star. But I think the biggest point is he just doesn't shoot it respectably at all, and he never has, and that makes it really hard. And he doesn't defend. So you don't shoot, you don't defend. He can defend, but he doesn't. I think
the problem with his shot isn't so much the percentages as he kind of shoots it like it's such a sissy looking shot. You know how, like, if you watch him shoot a 3, have you, like, I can't really explain it, but I'm just like, oh, it looks bad. Like those guys that refuse to change their free throw shooting, even though they might do better with a different style, but they won't do it because it looks bad. Like I don't like watching him shoot the 3, which means nothing, but it just bugs me. Okay. Do you believe, now this has been a point of contention off air for us for a long time. I think Giannis plays up his injuries when he doesn't think his team has a chance. Do you think Miami realizes this, or are they just going to be very disappointed that this guy's going to play like 60-ish games a year and be a complete disappointment for them? Which do you think it is?
Yeah, I don't think most people think because earlier in his career, Giannis was such a guy who played every game and had such intensity and stuff. I don't think anyone's considering. I feel like I've heard a couple people comment that he hasn't. It's been like 4 playoffs in a row he hasn't finished. If
Like, is that
not
not
even in
alarming?
count yes, I would be definitely alarmed, and hopefully it is just like some of the injuries last year and stuff surely were Bucks not being in a position to compete related. But yeah, he's definitely no Iron Man. And anytime you see a guy whose game is built on athleticism and built on being the biggest, strongest guy out there, I get a little worried when injuries start creeping up because you can see it fall apart real quickly. Like Blake Griffin survived for a little bit because he developed this weird three-point shooting game in Detroit. But, like,
Yeah.
if he hadn't had that, which Giannis certainly won't, he would have been, like, gone from being an MVP candidate to almost out of the league very quickly. Now, I don't think that's gonna
But
happen, I
boy,
love
has he
Giannis.
segued into awesome at commercials. He's so funny. Blake Griffin?
Yeah.
Have
He's,
you watched his commercials?
yeah, I haven't heard how is he on the I've seen the commercial, I like the commercials, and I know he's on
He's
lots of the
super good.
broadcasts and stuff, like, how is he?
Yeah,
Is he
yeah.
good on the broadcast?
I like him, but I didn't like him as a player, but I like him in his post-player life for some weird reason, you know? Like, he
Yeah.
seems like a cool guy, and, so I think I like him because of that. Okay, so but here's my thing. Can Giannis change his game? Like, in baseball, you have these guys that used to throw the ball, like, 98 miles an hour, their arm kinda goes a bit, and then they become kinda crafty, and they sort of, segue their game into or change their game, into does Giannis have that gear?
No. Unfortunately, I love Giannis, but Um, like, he's got pretty nice touch and stuff, but it all revolves around the fact that just no one can stop him in a straight line. Um, like, he gets downhill with those big steps and can just finish over anyone. I see a world where Giannis is just playing, like, more center, where Bam's kinda playing the power forward more on offense, because he's done this shooting stuff and this mid-range stuff, and then Giannis is your main role man, but last year Giannis 100% just wanted to be, like, the point guard, and he said it's, like, his favorite, like, way to play, and that's definitely what he wants to do, so we'll see.
He does
I just
pass the
I
ball well.
no, he bounces the ball well, he's smart, he's, like
Yeah,
it creates big matchup problems when he's the one with the ball because
yeah.
usually the guys who are big and strong enough to guard him are not used to guarding the ball handler and pick and roll, um, but that's still while Giannis is great. Like, as he ages, I think him just being the center and doing the big man stuff and focusing more on defense is the way he prolongs his career. I don't think he's getting much craft and
No, you don't
s-
think so?
he's had a lot of opportunity to develop any sort of jumper touch from any area. And he's shot
But he
like,
hasn't had to, and you know how when those old guys stop being able to jump, somehow they're shocking? Jason Kidd was a good example of that. Remember when he could no longer jump anymore, and he'd sit outside and take, like, that 3-inch vertical, three-point shot, and then he started to get better at it? Maybe he's got that in him.
yeah, maybe. I don't know
What
how
happened
many
to
guys in the
LaMarcus
NBA.
Aldridge style players? What happened to that
Well,
power
yeah,
forward position that used to have, like, the deadly 17-footers, like those deadly 17-foot guys? What happened to those guys? Are they gone?
I did like that guy, yeah. They're just a relic of a past age because none of like, Boozer is another one, like,
Yeah.
Carlos Boozer, obviously, but,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
it just I think there's this space in the NBA for it, and, I'd like to see, like, Caleb Wilson has an opportunity to, kinda be that type of player, but the NBA transitioned, like, during the 20 like, the Warriors run where, like, everyone on the floor needs to be able to defend, and these power
Yeah,
forwards who, like, shot well and scored well, but did not provide spacing from 3 and did not
yeah.
provide, defense really were just made a thing of the past. I do miss that type of player for sure.
It's
Um,
great. Rasheed Wallace had that game too a little bit. You remember that? No, you
yeah.
don't remember that. But he had
I've
that. I
seen
miss those.
I know of Rasheed Wallace, but,
Yeah, yeah.
he at least was great defensively, so that was a little bit he would have still survived. Um, it's these big like, it's the John Collins of the world.
Oh, you had to dig John Collins, didn't you,
Had to
honestly?
dig John Collins.
I can't remember.
Um
Where did he go? Tell the viewers where he went. I can't
John
remember.
Collins went to the Pistons. They made the
Oh,
Pistons huge swings to get better after their loss to the lowly Cavaliers. Just they swapped out Tobias Harris, who was, like, the 2nd best player, I swear, in their playoff run, and for John Collins, who when's the last time John Collins contributed to a
To
winning
winning?
team?
That year that they
Yeah,
won a playoff series, he was pretty
they
decent,
made the
him and
conference
Trey.
finals in 2019 or 2020 with against the Bucks, and that's the last time, so we're, like, 6 years from John Collins, and I watched a lot of John Collins up close, and if people aren't watching games, John Collins looks great on the box score. He scores efficiently, he rebounds, but boy, I don't think he's very good. He
He's
makes a
got a
lot of
really weird frame. You notice this about him? There's something weird about him, maybe that's what it is. But there's just, like, because remember, I was a huge fan because his numbers are good, kinda, and then I watch him play, and I was like, I get he just that whole winning player, winning stuff everyone talks about? He doesn't do it somehow. It's the
no,
weirdest thing,
he sure does not.
eh?
Yeah,
Now,
he,
I wonder if that's an analytic or that's an eye test, because I wonder if the analytics support John Collins not being a winning player, because the eye test definitely makes John Collins not seem like a winning player. Think the analytics
I think the offensive analytics certainly don't. He always grades out great on that end. The defensively, he usually is rough, and not much of an impact player, but I don't know, especially with defense as time goes on, like, I used to be much more into, like, the very, like, advanced numbers, the one number metrics that try to show a player's impact, and it's just, like, there's so many flaws to it, it's so complicated that, like, I like the simple analytic stuff, like true shooting and free throw rate and stuff like that, but
but what about defensively? I don't
yeah,
understand
defensively is
analytics for
honestly
defense.
there's kinda 2 segments of analytics defensively is, um well, I guess there's a 3rd coming now, but essentially you're either looking at, like, box score stats, which, like, looks at, um,
Plus minus and just simple things like
plus
that?
minus and steals and blocks, um, or you're looking at, like, on-off data where it's, defensive rating with you on the floor and off the floor. That's
Right.
usually, like, kind of the best proxy, but there's so much that goes into that, right? Like, Donovan Mitchell probably had an excellent defensive on-off numbers because
With
he played all
Rudy.
his minutes with Rudy. Um,
Right.
there's the Rudy mentioned, 14
Yeah.
minutes in,
Yeah,
favorite
that's
player.
pretty good. You held off.
Um, and then those are so many conflicting factors because, like, they on purpose like, teams on purpose put bad defenders with their best defenders to clean up
Right.
messes. So it's on-off data doesn't really work. Steals and block data, it's just, like, it's not a one like, just because someone's getting steals and blocks does not mean they're playing more defensive impact.
Yeah, selling out for a steal or a block
Yeah,
never made at any level. I can remember watching high school games, and you're like,
yeah,
well, they got beat diving, like jumping a passing lane 3 times and got a steal for a glory layup 1 time. That
yeah,
doesn't seem right. It almost seems impossible to tell, like, that's one where I actually feel like somebody that knows basketball probably can figure out defense better about a guy than actually looking and really focusing on the analytics
yeah.
defensively, right? Like,
Defensively, analytics, I just don't think do a good job at all, and I remember it specifically, like, Ibaka, one of my favorite players growing up,
yeah,
would average, like, something crazy, like 3.6 blocks one year, but, like, the defense like, I watched, like, all of these games, and, like, the defense was not that good. The Thunder defense was not as good as they should have been, then the next year, he was down to, like, 2.1, and, I
yeah.
thought he should have been defensive player of the year. Like, it's just so not a one-to-one thing, that, I don't think that's a good way to I think it's definitely eye test, and it
Really see it, the number of shots guys avoid when Wembanyama's just
yeah,
standing there, and
yeah.
that's an immeasurable stat, I think, right? Like, maybe it is measurable. Maybe they should start going shots avoided
Yeah,
inside.
there's a few
That'd
things
be kind
new
of a good
the
one.
new kind of wave of this stuff that is interesting is they're starting to put they have all this, like, player tracking with, like, advanced cameras and stuff where they, like, map out the floor. When the defender was whoever he was guarding, they shot this percentage or, this percentage of their shots they contested, and, um, the numbers are interesting, and I think but they're just, like, really noisy right now, like, which means, like, there's a lot of just weird results, um make people not trust it at all right now. They put it in summer league, and I think they're gonna put it in the NBA because I haven't heard any complaints, but they put some kind of, like, tracking chip in the ball that is supposed to
Oh,
not
that's like
impact
what they're
it
doing
at
with
all.
FIFA, I think,
Yeah, so that might give some really good, like, insight, um, and add
and
something
set
that's
up a lot of
missing.
conspiracy theories.
Yes. Um, so we'll see, but yes, certainly LeBron will miss a game winner and say
Yeah.
it was the chip in the ball. Um, but, s
So
yeah.
that's one of those things, like, I wonder what, because you also watch guys that, like, overhelp, and I don't know how anyone says this, and I don't even know exactly what I'm talking about, but, like, those guys that underhelp or overhelp, right? They'll help on a guy, and you see it even in the playoffs, they'll, like, double on a guy who had no advantage, who was in a bad area to score from for that guy's game, and I'll see them coming off and, like, weakly double teaming, and I can't think of a specific example, unfortunately, and I'm like, "That's terrible defense," but, like, I don't know how you can assess any of that, like, because the things that have to
Yeah.
go into that, you have to assess the player that he doubled onto, the player he came off of, what the defensive scheme is, and again, I might be talking shit with this because I don't really know, but do you know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. I feel like that's something Towns did better at in this playoffs, but it's kinda like I think of it as like the cat and mouse game. It comes up a lot in
Uh,
pick and roll where, like, it's a delicate dance where you're showing help, but not leaving your guy. Like, it's like a super hard thing that I understand why very few players really excel at, like, knowing exactly when to double and when to not. I think it's just the kinda thing where you know it when you see it if you've watched enough basketball.
so
Um,
do you think it's harder? Because we were talking a little bit about all these failed draft picks of big guys that, when they're being, scouted, one of the things that comes up, oh, their wingspan's like 9 feet and they can jump super high, but they can't figure out the game. Do you think it's harder to figure out the game? Do you think it's harder right now? Like, what's the hardest like, seems to me I could go out right now if I had the physical skills and be a 3 and D guy where I just have to guard one guy well and shoot a corner 3. But, like, do you think it's harder to learn how to be a post right now or harder to be like a point guard?
yeah, like, defensively, I definitely think the post has become the hardest thing. It's just, like, such a small window where you have to be perfect. Like, if you're guarding a shooter in the pick and roll and you're, like it's down to, like, one step of how close you are, whether they can just pull up for a good shot or if you've contained enough or if you can recover. I do think defense is partly because it's the most impactful defensive position and is also, like, the hardest, and there's so many different schemes that guys have to play. Like, offensively, I think it's being a big man's probably the easiest of the positions. Like, set good
Offensively,
screens, offensive
right.
rebound. But defensively, I would for sure say the big is the hardest thing, other than just the fact that, like, the guys' wings have to defend on the perimeter. It's like, this guarding a superstar in the perimeter is and staying in front is just super hard, but I don't know that that's such a, like, complex issue versus it's just like, guys are more athletic than you, guys are
Right.
too fast, hard to stay in front of. I don't think it's a as complicated a thing. Like, you try to fight through screens depending on your scheme. Um, I definitely think I've noticed as, like, a lot of guys have come into the league, there's a lot more players who are, like, good at off-ball defense than on ball right now. And I think that's just the like, there's not as many, like, Avery Bradleys, like, guys you just wanna
Oh,
like,
nice draw.
Jazz assistant coach, Avery Bradley.
Is he?
Yeah, he is. He's at the summer league. Um,
I suspect they're gonna not be 30th in defense. I bet they're gonna jump up to 28.
yeah, that's the hope. I don't feel like there's a lot of guys who, like, on ball can just, like, lock up offensive superstars, and that is but there's lots of guys like a Derek White who make really good defensive contributions and make the right rotations and get steals and fly around. That seems
Right.
to be an easier thing for players to do at this point. The fact of just, like, guarding the best players on the other teams and staying in front seems to be a very difficult thing to do, and those guys should be prioritized in trying
So
to
is this
pay
that
them.
Portland guy you keep talking about? You get all excited about this Portland guy that I barely know anything about because he's Portland
Yeah,
and he's got a name that I can't say very well.
Thibault or
No,
Kamara?
Thibault, there's Kumara, who
Yeah,
sounds a little bit like Kuminga, but
way
different
better than
games.
Kuminga. Um,
'Cause this
yeah,
Kamara guy, that
yeah, he's
I hear
awesome.
his name now bubbling or, percolating around like, "Oh, defense," and I've barely seen the guy play, but what's he got? Is he an on
He's a
ball?
bit of both. He can really lock up on ball and fly around. The three's been more of the question mark. But the deep, I think he's a top 10 defensive player in the NBA probably right now. Um, top
Where's
20
your
for
guy
sure.
Thibault now? Or whatever his name
He
is.
hasn't even signed. I think he's just an absolutely hopeless offensive player, except that he did
Why wouldn't
shoot
the
better
Lakers
last
take
year.
him though?
I don't
Why
know.
wouldn't the Lakers take him? I mean,
The,
obviously you don't have to shoot if you have Luca on your team. Why wouldn't like that seems like an obvious one, isn't it?
Especially because you sign like Mamu to be like a backup big who does not defend but can really shoot it. Like it seems like you should be trying to get someone like
Who's Mamu, the Sandro guy?
yeah.
You can't be dropping Mamu and think our listeners
S-
from Canada are gonna know
True.
what Mamu is.
Yeah.
It sounds like
Sandro Mamuscafili, it's a very hard name to say. Signed with the Lakers. Good off. He was on the
he's
Raptors.
good player.
Actually, they might know who Mamu is because
They
that's what
would.
they
Yeah,
called him on the Raptors broadcast.
fair fair enough. Like, he looks like a good basketball player. Whenever I watch him, 'cause I do watch him rap, he looks good. Is he bad defensively? Because he
Yeah.
passes, he shoots.
Yeah, he's bad defensively.
Mhm.
Which is
So why
okay
wouldn't
for
the
most
Lakers
teams
sign?
because yeah, I have no idea why the Lakers prioritize signing him. Like,
No, 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 no. But my point at this is like right now, if you're in the Lakers, like you don't have to know much to realize you got like a lot of offensive guys that
yeah,
don't. Why wouldn't you get a guy that doesn't need? Can Thibault get an offensive rebound a little bit? Like
a
if he can
little
get,
bit, if
but
a
like,
little bit, but not a huge
shouldn't he
strength.
be
But
next
he's
to?
at
Shouldn't he be out there with Mamu, Reeves, and Luca? And like
yeah.
Luca
I
plays
think
against shoots over double teams all the time. It obviously doesn't matter if they come off somebody.
yeah. I think the idea is like I agree. I think they should. I think they see like 'cause they're paying Jared Vanderbilt um in what they think is a similar role, but seeing Vanderbilt up close, I just really don't think he's that level of defender. Really can't shoot it. Worse shooter than Thibault, but the NBA certainly doesn't agree with me on Thibault. He goes from minimum contract to minimum contract right now.
But
Um,
that could just be the. I'm not saying he should get on my bad. I'm just saying stick him next to a guy
I agree.
who like takes all the shots. I don't see why you're like offensive liability doesn't matter if you're not ever going to get the ball anyway.
Yeah, and I think teams are just a little bit living in the past where and maybe in the playoffs this is the case, but we're talking about minimum signings where I think NBA offensive has gotten a lot more complicated where it's not like, oh, if you got this one player on the wing who can't shoot, you're just doomed to not have a good offense because everyone will just sag off. There's so much movement and like different plays being run and ways to use that space. It's not like in the LeBron Curry era where it was just spread pick and roll, everyone can shoot, and if someone couldn't shoot, Steph was getting double teamed. And it was just death there. Reacting,
Okay, next Minnesota. Excited or not excited? Is this going to be a good team or is it going to be like just like but like no chance to win?
yeah, I'm just not a LaMelo Ball believer. They are definitely overly reliant on Rudy keeping this defense as good as it is to be getting their regular season wins and their playoff runs, and, like, he's aging, like, that's not gonna last forever, so I think they're trying to set themselves up for a post-Rudy future with Anthony Edwards. I just think, why was Minnesota made back-to-back surprise conference finals and beat the pants off, like, some of the teams that like, they were no one thought they were gonna win these series of is because they were hard to play against, and they didn't have any defensive weaknesses, and they, like, just kept the pressure on all the time. LaMelo Ball, boy, he doesn't fit that model. Yeah, Anthony Edwards winning MVP, yeah, I definitely think this could help Edwards' efficiency for sure, like,
But not
he
with raw numbers. Like
not his
he's going
raw
to score
numbers.
fewer points,
Yeah, he's
probably,
gonna
right?
score fewer points, less assists, which he already doesn't get many assists, but They're gonna take an absurd amount of threes. Like they've been the like the last two league leaders in three-pointers have been LaMelo Ball and Anthony Edwards. Um, they're gonna get a ton of shots up, and they'll be super fun. I'm excited to watch them with like Rudy cleaning up misses and McDaniels being a defensive player. I still think they're gonna be
Yeah,
quite good. I just think
yeah.
when it comes down to it, like you put them against Denver or some or like one of these the Lakers or whatever. Before I felt like you're just out toughing them, out everything, and now like you've slowly or uh, scratched away at that like toughness. Like Randall and Nasri, well, flawed players were like big, strong, tough guys that you weren't
Yeah, yeah,
really
yeah.
messing with. Even like Conley, who's like a small point guard, like he's like professionalism and
And
grit.
gritty.
Yeah,
Yeah,
grit and
yeah.
grind. I
Grit and
just you've
grind.
definitely uh, lost a bit of that. Even they're not going to have DiVincenzo next year. Who
Okay, my next question with respect to LaMelo Ball is I think I only watched like 4 Charlotte Hornet games last year, and I was like, "Oh, Con Knippel, he's gonna be awesome. He's so good." And I watch, I'm like, he gets wide open shots because of, from what I could tell, a lot to do with LaMelo Ball. Am I wrong about this? And might we see a big drop in Con Knippel because, like, he was open. Like, I don't know what the stats show, but I've never seen a guy get so many open shots, and to me, it seemed like a lot had to do with LaMelo Ball.
um no,
I'm fine being wrong.
no, I will tell you if you're wrong. I no, I
Yeah.
agree. I think the Hornets are certainly taking a step back here. For the Hornets, they're like their whole system with their pushing the pace and getting to tons of threes up and flying up and down the court was sort of built around his Lamelo's strengths and weaknesses. I don't know exactly what this team's going to look like with Kobe White and Lamelo's place, but I think I don't disagree. But the I think the issue was, like, there was not a lot of room to make this team viable defensively with
Do you
LaMelo,
mean money-wise? Or, like, what do you
somewhat
mean room?
viable defensively because, like, if you're paying LaMelo, Brandon Miller,
Oh,
and
yeah.
Khan, that's your 1, 2, 3, none of
Right.
whom like, Khan's strong and he works hard, but, like, he can't be your best perimeter defender or you're dead. Um
Yeah, there's something about him, I'm not exactly sure what it is, but he doesn't, like, quite make me feel confident defensively for
No,
a
he's
long
just not
time.
that great an athlete, and he's not and also the white factor doesn't help. Um, it's
There's
100%
only one great white defender in the league. You know who it is?
that is a good
White,
joke.
the name?
Um,
Yeah,
oh,
that's the dad jo that was an awesome dad joke.
yeah, no, great joke, but yeah, no one's Caruso, maybe it's the baldness. I didn't watch much Kings last year, to be completely honest. Um, the
Not even if you wanted to rage bait yourself by watching Sabonis in the few games he played.
yeah, they just the
Hey, the
guys go
league is
at him
coming
less, but
around.
then it's like Duncan
The
Robinson
league is
gets
coming
targeted
around.
relentlessly.
You for a long time have been super negative on Sabonis, like his game. Not, I mean, he might be a good guy, whatever. But like for quite a long time, a lot of the pundits weren't agreeing with you, and now it seems like everyone's on your side about Sabonis.
Yeah, as soon
Like you
as,
were
like, he
right.
had to get trade well, yeah, that did feel satisfying, where it's
I
like,
imagine
yeah,
it would.
this guy has these huge weaknesses defensively and, like, can't shoot it and, like, has never really contributed. No one really talked about his part of Indiana blowing up when he left because they became this good and, like, obviously, a bigger part of that was getting Halliburton, but,
I
like,
forgot that. Yeah,
they had him in the perfect position where he could like play the center offensively and power forward defensively next to Miles Turner, and they still were like lost in the first round of the playoffs every single year. He's just like that type of player just who can't defend center.
and
Yeah,
I was opposed to you because I liked his numbers and his short arms, and I love that. You know, and his plotting steps and all that, and his like cool.
I guess I
There,
gotta be low on the Lakers. Like I think he did. Like
look, those
he
people
was
trying
top
behind
10
you, trying
pick.
to get famous. The
Yeah,
people like sort of like they're catching on.
they
This
know
that
they
that
know this is gonna be
they
huge.
know. Okay, can we switch to summer league?
Yes, let's switch to summer
Tell
league.
me your first thoughts on AJ DeBassa,
Uh,
AJ Dynamite. What did you think?
he looked, I felt like, very similar to what I'm interested to see him in person because, like, I don't like to be put in a position where I'm like the negative, but it's like when you're the number one pick and I had you third, like that's just gonna be what happens a little bit. Um, but
1 for 13, I believe, in three-pointers.
yes, yeah, that's the biggest concern.
So he's a really good finisher and all that sort of stuff. And maybe, you know, it seemed crazy that Washington got Trey, right? Like, it made no sense to me. I was like, but
Yeah,
then I've watched Trey play and he stands like 30 feet from the basket a lot of times, and he's a really great passer. Like, will that not really help create a bunch of space for AJ? They probably knew that they're going to have a chance getting AJ, right? Or Caleb for that matter.
yeah.
Do you not think that maybe that part of Trey's game could really facilitate the development of an AJ Dynamite or if they would have gotten Caleb or something like that with that insane space creation, like a la LaMelo Ball, a la like Steph Curry, that kind of thing? Or is that crazy talk?
I just don't think guys defend Trey. I think maybe that's the idea because they have said they want to play Trey more off ball with like A- AJ and Keyshawn George playing on ball more often. I don't know that Trey is gonna do that, and the problem is if he's not the guy with the ball in his hands, it's like the worst defender in the NBA. Maybe Darius Acuff coming for that early, um, coming for that crown, but
Oh,
I like Darius
is
Acuff,
that
but he's been very, very bad defensively in summer league, and the effort he
really?
that's
Even in summer league?
even in summer league, it's like the
How are you
everyone's that's
bad
what people are
defensively?
talking about. Just
Really?
effort, like
Okay.
he doesn't hustle back. Just finishing that Trey point is I definitely think
Yeah.
I just uh, the contract aside, like the contract's insane. No one was paying him that. Um, it's not gonna be long-term viable, and then they're gonna have to use an asset to get off it in a while. And you know, I've been fascinated with Trae Young, infatuated, but there's something just very wizardsy about doing this where because they didn't know what pick they were getting, right? They got the sixth pick
Wizardsy.
last year. They got the sixth pick. I think they're just like, we're sick of losing. Let's go get these stars who are uh,
Will definitely make us
not
500.
who will make us 500 and not have much demand, and they might. And I don't mind that AJ's gonna hopefully play in some at least like playing games early, and that he's not just going to some terrible team where he can develop all these bad habits. But I just
Number 2 pick,
yeah. Now
Peterson. How
Peterson,
amazing has he been?
he's amazing. I said yesterday to Monaco that he's my third favorite person in the world right now. Um
Monaco is Ty's wife that hears a lot more about basketball than she probably ever thought she would growing up. As
she's
a
all
Canadian, in somewhere in BC, if I would have said to her, "Oh, you're going to hear your husband babble about basketball for a couple hours a day, every day for your entire life," she'd be like, "No." Am I
yeah.
right or wrong?
Yeah, I don't think she'd think it, but she's very much embraced it. Like when we were dating, she made flashcards of all the teams and all the best players on all the teams and learned them all. Um,
That is impressive. Really?
it was, but
You
it
know what
became
that's actually kind of from? There's a movie in the old days called Diner, and the guy refused, not that you would have done this, but like the guy refused to marry his wife unless she passed some test on like the Colts football team, something like that. So it's
yeah,
like
I
a
didn't.
parallel.
But what she got frustrated by it once she learned them how much movement there was among players that she needed to adjust, and that was frustrating. But now she can just focus on the Jazz, and she's all in for the Jazz.
Yeah.
Um,
And then
she's
there's all those nice outfits and stuff you can wear. So it really
yes,
does
the
sort of
nice
bring it
outfits.
all together.
Posey
I've
looks
seen a couple of
great
her
in her
get-ups.
jerseys. Yeah,
She
no,
looks great. Like when she's all jazzed up,
oh yeah, no,
looks great.
it's definitely
Okay,
fun.
number 2 pick. What do we think? Peterson, he's been great, correct?
Peterson, I think he hasn't been efficient and he's been turning the ball over and fouling just a lot, but like the Jets have just never had a prospect with this kind of like sheer talent and ability to score in so many different ways. I also think
But he's also not going to have the ball and be put into turnover situations
no,
nearly as much,
no. I
right?
think
Like this isn't.
yeah. My only concern is that he definitely and he said like he likes to be on he's enjoying being on ball in summer league more, but it's not where he shines. It's where he shines is running off picks where his gravity, like guys are desperately trying to help and get over to help on him and then getting downhill for the floater or
Oh,
for
the
a little
floater.
fadeaway jump shot. I think it's actually a
I
great
like
fit though with the Jazz, who don't no one plays with the Jazz with the ball in their hand nonstop. Like this isn't like a Luka type team. This is a team that's like led the league in passes, um, has a
Now this
very
might be an
motion heavy offense.
unfavorable view or maybe an inaccurate observation, but, like, he's got mid-range game,
Peterson? Yeah,
like the
no, for
floater.
sure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and and then you watch the playoffs and you're like, "This shit this matters, like, the mid-range matters in playoffs." Like, he's got that game. Am I right?
100%. When the game slows down and in the playoffs, because defenses get better, teams are allowed to be more physical, it seems, in the playoffs. The overall efficiency goes down. Like you look at like offensive ratings going from regular season to playoffs, and it's like night and day. So just like if a guy can continue to make mid-range jumpers at a decent rate, like,
It
on
matters.
demand against tough defenders, it just, like when the overall efficiency drops, the relative efficiency of the mid-range shot, of his shot, improves greatly, and I think that's what, like, the analytics stuff, like, misses is, like there's a misconception that analytics just, like, hate every mid-range shot, which is just not the
Right.
case. It's just, like, which shooters should be taking them, but if you're evaluating for playoffs, which I almost always am, regular season's great, but the players don't take it that seriously all the time, and the
They
league,
will this year. You're
they will
getting
this
wrong.
year. You're
It's
right.
changed.
I'm very excited for that, but
And not just
all
because of tanking. It's like it's a different thing. Like, you're gonna start seeing guys play more. I think there's a real change happening. You think?
yeah,
Okay, next, Cam Boozer. Looks like a consummate pro already. So nice and consistent. Am I right? Am I wrong? Like, just beautiful, stroking threes reasonably well, nice assist
yeah.
numbers, like, just looks like a basketball player.
As opposed to like AJ, where I had concerns about what this looks like if he's not this on-ball superstar because he doesn't do stuff well off ball. Like I had Boozer fourth, just at the top of the draft. I think you got to swing at the best available like shot to be a top 15
Right.
player in the NBA. And I don't know if he's that, but I loved watching Boozer. He's so smart. He does all the best things offensively. I wish he'd rotate a little more defensively. I think he could be a little more risky on that end because he does have good
Yeah, he's
instincts.
careful,
So I
isn't
think
he?
yeah, I think he should trust himself, flash to the ball, provide some
Do you
help.
think maybe that might
Um,
help if he has a 7'4" center beside him?
Yeah. Yeah, I think the Edie fit's very fun, but, like, he played with another big, he wasn't the center at Duke either,
Yeah,
and
but
it yes, but he's not Zach Edey,
yeah,
and or Quentin Post,
thank you for that.
yes,
He's gonna be
I
stroking
like
so many
I was
threes.
so I was blown away by how Quentin Post shoots it, like, he looks like a 7-foot Klay Thompson, like, he doesn't shoot it like a big,
No, he doesn't.
uh
It's super quick release, nice and
yeah,
high, like, it's beautiful stuff, actually.
yeah.
Um,
I'm
Chet
gonna be a
should
big
watch
yeah, yeah.
Chet should watch him shoot a 3 and maybe, like, speed that up a little bit. Okay, number 4. Was that maybe the greatest single opening game
Oh.
in summer league history?
Oh, yeah,
Caleb.
and Caleb Wilson, I just love he's such like, a psycho. He's like, "I'm in the gym." He's in the gym every day right now. He's saying he's getting up 2,500 threes a day, and just, like, he does nothing, and he's like, "I didn't like playing in college because I had to go to class, and I couldn't just be in the gym." And he, like oh, this was a crazy apparently, he, like before games to get amped up for the week before, he has like the opposing player as his best opposing player as his screensaver on his phone, just so he can like fuel his anger at all times. Um, this is the kind of psycho that I think just could be awesome. This is why,
I
like,
should do that with patients I don't
yeah,
like. To look at
it
who's
is a good
coming up
idea.
and
Just
like,
like,
"Alright, it is a good
like,
idea.
yeah,
It
it's
is a
like
good idea."
but I'm like, this is just a crazy person. But yeah, he said he had 7 threes in his first game. Like, oh, like the tools were all amazing. The athleticism looked amazing. The question was like, oh, if he can shoot it at all, we got a superstar here. And then comes out, hits 7 threes his first game, 3 threes in the second game, already surpassed his college total. I'm so all in for
I
Caleb
will
Wilson.
say, both AJ Dynamite and Caleb really have taken on the persona of superstars, right? Like, "Oh,
Yeah.
I'm this, oh, I'm that." And I kinda like Peterson's, I mean, maybe it's just more what I like in a manner, but I like how Peterson and Boozer are a little bit more personality-wise, but that means nothing what I think.
Darren Peterson
Oh,
is a self-proclaimed loner introvert, so I
you
think
know who that
that's
was like? Kobe. Thank you.
yeah, he is, like a nickname that's been thrown out, not by him this time, was Mountain Mamba,
I do like
which
that.
is pretty cool.
Yeah.
But he's
Yeah,
got
that's
a
super cool.
I'm always a little nervous when you're throwing out, like, comps to top 15 players of all time.
Yeah, it's a
I
bit
think you could
much.
get there, but I feel like it's just setting you up for some failure. But,
I also think he's got a little Durant game in him. Like, when I watch him, I kinda think a little bit of Durant. The way he can get shots up in small space, I kinda like that game about him. Do you know what I'm saying? Do you know what I'm saying?
yeah, no, tough shot makers who even without great spacing, they can just rise up and hit a good number of shots, always valuable. But
Who was 5th?
5th
Wagler?
pick was Wagler, and, I think
You must have loved you're not a huge Wagler fan
no.
yet.
No, well,
He
here's
had a
the thing.
terrible first game, you must have been rejoicing,
So
but then his second game, he looked pretty good.
so it kind of 100% like reaffirmed what I kind of thought about Wagler these 2 games. The first game they had him like on ball trying to play point guard and just like couldn't create any space, couldn't do anything, and was 1 of
Right,
7,
because he doesn't have that
useless.
skill set,
Because
right?
he doesn't have that skill set, and I think people thought he was. He was getting like Halliburton comps and stuff. But
Yeah.
like when I watched the tape on him, it was just like, oh, he can't beat his man off the dribble, and he's not
So he's
quick
certainly
enough.
not gonna
He's
beat
not
NBA
explosive
guys.
enough. Yeah. And then I think all the panic was setting in a little bit for people when they saw that. But then the next game, start of the game, that was happening again. He was like 1 of 6 to start against the Jazz. And then they
Yeah.
moved him off ball as to be the shooting guard and just let his like insane shooting work and open up the rest of his game. And he was awesome. Like he is just an A plus shooter.
I think you kind of were talking about if he's used properly, he's got pretty good upside. If they try to force him into what he's not good at, it's
Yeah.
not gonna go that well.
Yeah, like the
That's
comps
what
I
you're
had
talking.
for him were like off ball, like a Duncan Robinson, Landry Shamet, which I know sounds like an insult where people were mocking him, but I
Can you
love the
imagine you get a 5th overall pick and
yeah,
you're
yeah, especially in this draft. But I think he'll be a good player, and I think he's decently like he's got good knowledge of like angles and how to like
his length is
take
good and he
advantage.
shoots his length is good and he shoots the ball beautifully.
Yeah, he
So,
shoots it
he's
awesome.
got a
I
chance, right?
He's got a chance to be definitely solid. I just never saw that on ball point guard's skill set. And that's
Yeah.
fine. Like I wouldn't have taken that 5th, but I was fine taking it 9 or whatever. Like Mikhail
Okay,
Brown,
what's he done?
he's
Who's
only
he with?
played 1
Remind
game.
us.
He's with the
New
Nets.
Brooklyn?
Yeah.
Yeah, and?
He was like he played 1 game. It was great. I didn't see it. I'm gonna see him today against Acuff, so
Okay.
I'll have more thoughts on that. But
Yeah.
everyone, people, I saw some highlights and stuff, and he's making some miraculous passes and awesome plays. Like he's gonna, if you're looking at highlights, no question is Mikhail Brown gonna be the best guard from this or point guard from this draft class. Like
Seriously?
his highlights are crazy. Like he shoots it beautifully. He's got good burst. He can dunk it. He can throw these amazing no look passes. It's just whether, and this will be a good test case. So, like I didn't bet on him just because like he's super unserious. He's like LaMelo in a lot of ways. Like that's like the number one comp he
Right.
always gets, where he's just like throwing the ball, whipping the ball all over the gym, turning it over, missing
Having
wide open.
fun.
Yeah, having fun, taking possessions off, just pulling up from like 45 when like the flow of
Checking
the
his
game
socials at halftime.
does not demand it, but talent all there. He's 6'5", awesome athlete, really like a great shooter, uh good ball handler, good like passing vision. It's just we'll see if how much it translates. We'll see.
The thing
It,
is, with a young guy, maybe he can grow into that, huh?
yeah, 100%. It's potentially the case. Like guys do change
And he's
mental
what,
makeup.
20?
Yeah. Yeah,
Right.
he's guys do 100% change, like, mental makeup and tough and don't take college seriously. Um,
Don't you
that
think
just
this is where certain veterans can really help a young guy? Like a guy like that, if he gets to play with the team, and I mean, and maybe it's cliche to talk about that, but like like that old school sort of way of thinking, but, like, I'd like to see, like, a couple wily vets take a young kid like that and, sort of shake him around a little bit. Is
Yeah,
that
I wish
possible? Is it
I think so. I definitely think vets have a huge impact on players. Who was it? Like Donovan Mitchell credited a lot of his a lot of growth to Mike Conley. I do think that was huge in the
Yeah.
development of his game. Um, and like lots of guys, you see this, but the Nets unfortunately are not the
I know
best.
that's the
Yeah,
problem.
it's a. I don't really like the
Who's
fit.
gonna tutor him? Danny Wolf and Igor?
Yeah, like you've got even your vets that you've brought in, like Julius Randle and Michael Porter Jr. are not really like
Oh, yeah.
veteran, smart guys. They're guys who this is like a criticism of their career has been like lack of physicality, lack of
Yeah.
focus,
It's kind of funny. It's like you almost
inconsistency.
when you talk about roster construction, which is sort of one of those terms I hear, and
Yeah,
in
yeah.
large part to teach young guys how to play basketball. Next pick, because you're going to
Uh,
summer league, so we're gonna whip through these top 10.
yeah, next
Uh,
pick, Acuff. Acuff
ho
has been like
terrible!
he's been
Even
terrible.
offensively.
And I had him the highest of all these point guards. Don't feel anything about that with how bad the defense is, especially right now. But
I
the
thought he
What's
was
my
well,
honey? If
in
you're
the
looking
summer
at a place
league,
chicken,
maybe
what's the
he'll
honey?
be maybe him playing with better players.
Sushi.
Like, that's the thing that about summer league, it seems hard to me sometimes, right? It's very sort of ball dominant, but who drafted Akuf? Akuf?
Acuff,
Tell me again.
the Kings. Now there's a long list of like point guards who like shot first point guards who were like the one of the worst players in the NBA, like as a rookie. De'Aaron Fox, Mike Conley was really bad. Westbrook was
Was he?
awful. Yeah, John Wall was bad. Trey Young was awful. Like it does take guys a little bit of time, and I
Okay, but
definitely
just
think
sec.
Acuff's going to be
Minus
awful.
Conley minus Conley, I don't think any of those guys had great careers.
Well, I said Westbrook. We can't say Westbrook didn't have a great career.
Oh, forgot about
Um,
Westbrook, sorry.
yeah, but yeah,
You know
lots of
what?
yeah.
Westbrook got lucky, though, playing in a time when shooting didn't much matter
Yes.
the way
There's a precedent of like horrible first years from point guards as they adjust to the league, and I definitely like if my bet on what rookie is going to be the most like damaging on all the analytics models is Acuff this year because he will just shoot with reckless abandon.
so somebody like I'm a super impulsive person. I make very quick first impressions and then and I get nervous early. Like if I'm is anybody like feel this? If you're Sacramento and you see these first 3 games of Akuf, are you like, oh no? Or are you just like, oh no, this is gonna be
Salt Lake
awesome,
City
like we're
Airport.
great, or like
Super pretty.
do you think anybody
I think teams are less reactionary than that, and I think like you draft a freshman point guard who's gonna have the ball in his hands all the time. I think expecting him, as long as you're seeing flashes, that is my thought.
okay.
Like now, if this continues and like every game he plays is like this,
Yeah.
you got trouble.
But when you couple that with terrible effort defensively,
I
What's
would
that
be a
pick
little
here?
nervous. But the Kings were so infatuated, and like there is a chance that Acuff just like develops into this
yeah.
star guard, but
And the
I think
Kings are
the
the
Kings
Kings.
are a good fit. I think Acuff will limitations might show up a little less.
Right.
Like these because like I don't know how many times the Kings are going to be going deep in the playoffs in his career. Let's say, 9 was Mraz Johnson, who was 8. Oh,
Uh
Kingston
you liked
Fleming's.
his bursts? You liked
Yeah,
his
I liked his
bursts?
bursts and stuff, but he's not a good enough finisher from anywhere on the floor.
Yeah.
Worried he just doesn't make the ball go in the hoop. Worried about it, but he does look like crazy quick.
Fun. Next, can we get to
Mraz,
Mojo?
yeah,
Is that
Mojo.
his nickname?
No, but that's awesome, and it should be his nickname.
100%.
Yeah,
I wanted to get to that just so I could drop that nickname because I think it's gonna catch.
I was expecting him to be great in summer league. He's just bigger and stronger than everyone else, and that always shows up in summer league. But
Yeah.
I think he's so special on ball defensively. To be in like a potential like OG Anunoby role, but as like a slightly
I
bigger player, like I think he's a really unique prospect that I
in this whole draft, that's the jersey I want. I believe in this guy and I love this guy, and I'm gonna put Mojo on the back. His number, his jersey.
that's
Next
awesome.
draft pick. Who's 10?
Next draft pick was Braden Burries, who I'm feeling really good about. Had some
Has he
nice
played?
games. Yeah, he
I
played.
didn't see much of his
He had like
numbers.
18 and 5 in the one game
Oh,
and something else. Like
you were high on him.
I had him sixth. He's just really smart, good basketball player with very few weaknesses.
Who drafted him?
Bucks.
Oh,
Good
so he's gonna
comp
get
Yeah,
opportunities.
good compliment to, like, Amen, who's, like, a big swing, might be awful, might be valuable, as, like, a
Right.
nice, like, steady contributor who will help make winning basketball plays.
A compliment, you mean, like a good safe pick compared to
Yes, you would
a
take
crazy pick.
one safe pick, one wild pick that has a good chance of just totally
11.
not
Who's
working.
11?
11 is Yaxel, and he's been good too, but
Oh,
again,
hasn't he?
he's been very good, bigger, stronger than everyone else, like,
But he's an adult,
yeah, he's an adult. I
and
was
that's the
looking
Warriors,
for
correct? For
that's the
everybody, that's the
Warriors.
Warriors.
Yeah.
But that could really be helpful to the Warriors, right? Like, this could really
Yeah.
be a nice
Oh, it
pick for
could,
the
yeah, if
Warriors.
he's awesome and this like, it'll just, like, summer league, I wasn't gonna learn anything from Yaxel, like, he's
Yeah.
24,
You knew what you're gonna get, and
you're
he did
he's
what you
yeah,
expected.
he was great. You need to see it against true NBA athleticism. He'll see that
Next,
very soon.
12. Yeah.
Morrow's been really bad and concerningly bad.
Yeah. But
It's that
don't you agree with me that if he can set screens and hold his arms up high,
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
valuable?
Yeah, but,
Okay,
the
so
strength really is showing up as an issue early, just not making his, like, presence felt, like, that's a big thing I
you're
find
hearing
from
this here first. You ready?
yeah,
Bruce Thornton. Here we go. Okay, we're gonna have another one of these, episode 3, and it's gonna be summer league, and you're gonna just give me your feelings, your impressions on
yeah,
these guys, and your
I'm gonna be taking
enthusiasm.
lots of notes. Yeah,
Um,
Bruce Thornton,
Bruce Thornton has a chance because of the team he's going to really, and if he's as good as I think that he is, and he fits the mold, he could he could be a huge difference maker, couldn't he? Like, they need him,
yeah,
and he's got talent around him.
stocky, short, good shooting. We're all in on Bruce Thornton here, even though I have not
All
watched him
in
play a
Bruce Thornton.
single game yet, so,
Dude, but today's the day.
today's the day. We'll see how he
Okay,
hopefully he
so
plays
the
good.
next format, just for the listeners so they tune in, is you're going to whip through these guys you saw, give me your impressions, just real free form. This has been Nobody's Listening. Okay, see you later.
Awesome.
Bye.
See ya. Bye.